Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I live in South Carolina and it's a beautiful day. I wish we could talk and you could tell me about what your day is like and where you live, but that's okay. I used to say, if you want your name mentioned, put it in the comments, but then I realized I couldn't ask that because comments are cut off when it's for children. So if any of the adults in your life feel like emailing me or helping you to email me, feel free to give me your name and I can mention you. Right now I can mention Daniel, Meadow, Camilla, Esme, and that's all I know of right now. So I took this elephant, I'm nice and close and tight for you to see. I took this elephant, here's a side view, from a coloring book. And I just pulled it out of the book. I even cut it a little bit and trimmed it. I've got some paper towel. I don't even need brand new paper towel as long as it's dry. I painted with this before and I'm just going to use it again. Then I have several brushes. This is a watercolor brush that I like okay. It's a children's watercolor brush. This one came with the set. I like it only so-so, but in a pinch, I'm not picky. I just want to have fun painting, right? If you're like that, you know exactly what I mean. Whatever I have is what I'm going to use. Then I have this brush, which I like the best so far. This brush is flat and I use it with my adult classes sometimes for different things, but I like it best of the first three that I'm showing you. And then the very best, when you start feeling like your brush is holding you back, maybe you can ask someone for a brush a little nicer. This one is called Aloe, and it comes in a little pack of all different sizes on Amazon. And it's not too bad, but any brush you can get as you get bigger and you get better with your brushing would be good. It has to be round around where it's tied together on the tube, and it has to have a point. It's called a round brush, but it has a point that helps you get parts. So why don't you grab any watercolor books or coloring books even. Just get one. This one I had was for spring and I pulled it out like I told you. And you probably don't have this one, but you know what? Whatever you have, it's fine because I just want to show you a few things, okay? So the first thing I want to show you is you don't put much water. I'm going to take my water, dip it in a little bit, maybe even tap extra off. So dip, tap, and then I'm going to go into my first color, yellow. Now, a lot of times children will go water, paint, water, paint, water, paint a lot. And they put so much water on their paper that it gets just too wet and the colors aren't very bright. So my first hint today is only use a little water and only mix it in till it's nice and thick. So I'm going to put in yellow centers for the flowers. I'm going to go back. Now, I'm not going in the water. I'm just going back in the paint because see how it's shiny? It still has a little bit of moisture left, so I can do that. I don't know if it'll make it all the way. It's getting dry. So then my second hint is that I tip the very edge of the brush in the water, just the tip. See that? Do you see how the water has just a little tip put in? Not even the whole one. And I'm not even going back in the paint because there's plenty of paint on my brush. You can see my brush looks yellow all over. So all I'm doing is I'm putting a little bit more water because the water wears out before the paint. So those are my two big little hints for you today. Now I dribbled a little water there and it's okay. When it dries, you won't even see it or barely see it. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. Now I'm going to rinse it like I mean it. Before, I just got a little water. And when I'm done, I'm going to tap off the extra on my paper towel, and I'm going to pick my second color, and I'm going to pick pink. Now, I'm not going to paint the flowers because the yellow was just painted and might be slightly damp. If I paint the flowers, then the yellow and pink may blur together. So instead, I'm going to paint bright pink. Maybe he's got toenail polish. I think she's a little girl, don't you? I'm getting a teeny bit more pink or a little more water on my brush because I have enough pink. Do you see all that pink? Let me go to this camera and zoom in. Zoom, 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 zoom. Do you see all that pink? I actually smeared it on the paper just now to show you. And that's okay. I don't mind. I'll either do something with it or I'll just leave it. It's okay with me. It's just for fun painting. And I don't get worried. I'm just happy to paint. So there's my pink. I'm going to rinse, 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 rinse. I only rinse this much when I'm switching colors, okay? So now I'm going to switch to red. What do you think I'm going to paint that's red? Do you have any idea? How about the tongue? I'm going to paint the tongue. Ooh, that's a bright red. I wonder if your paints are this bright. That's really bright. And now I'm going to go to his eyes. Switching colors. I'm going to make his eye look purple. I was going to say blue at first, and then I thought maybe a purple eye would be pretty. So I'm going to put purple right in the middle. Can you see it? It's bright purple. So purple and black. I like the color purple. And then I might give him a purple eyebrow to match because it's my make-believe painting. I can do what I want, can't I? So can you. Now I'm going to go swish, 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 and I think I'm going to paint the inside of his ear. And I have two pinks. I have a light pink that I use for his toenails, just to be silly. And then I have, that's this pink. And then I have a purple pink. You know, with watercolor, when you use less paint and more water, it can look kind of light. So I think I'm going to use the side of my brush so that when I do side versus the tip, the side covers a smoother, more area. And you can see I'm getting a little more water, a little more paint. I'm making it really pretty and not real bright. I'm just trying to make it look like it's the inside of his little pillowy ear. So it's kind of like a pinkish purple. If you don't have this color, you can decide what color you want the inside of his ear to look like. You know, one thing with watercolors is when they dry, their color is usually a little lighter. So when this dries, all the little blotchy part won't be as obvious, and it will be a little bit lighter. Okay? So here's what he looks like so far. Now I'm going to go to green. And I don't have a good green. I have more like a yellow green, and that's fine. But do you know if you mix blue and yellow, you get green? I have kind of like a lime green. But if I wanted to mix blue and yellow, I'd have more of a grass green. But today, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of kind of lime green or yellow green on the stems. Now, even though this is the color, if I want to put a little bit more grass, just because it might be fun, and I'm covering that little section, so I might put a couple more little grass. I'm not going on the flowers. I'm just going a few places where he's sitting. So if you have somebody that you're coloring, a little animal, that's sitting on the grass. You can go grass, 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 and a couple little spots here and there. And that might kind of add to the fun. What do you think? If you want. All right, I'm going to rinse, 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 and I'm going to do the flowers. Now we could make the flowers all one color, or we can make the flowers a variety. So I think I'm going to make it a variety. I'm going to start with orange. Now I may have a different set of watercolors than you do, and that's fine. You pick the colors you want. Ooh, that's a pretty color for a flower. I'm trying not to go into the yellow part. Now the yellow part is mainly dry, so it won't cause too much trouble painting right next to it. If it was still kind of wet, then I would stay away from it. Since I have so much beautiful orange on my brush, I'm going to go. Remember, you don't paint next to whatever you just painted. So even if I want every flower orange, I'm going to stop and paint one that's further away. So if these were all orange, I'd start on this one or I'd start down here. But I'm going to have them different colors just for fun. So that's how many oranges. 1, 2, 3 oranges. I'm rinsing, tapping off extra, and the next one is going to be aqua. You know the color aqua? It's got a little blue in it and a little green in it. It's turquoise. You might know it as turquoise. And so I'm going to do turquoise. It's a little too dry, so I'm getting a little water. That's too wet. It's like the 3 bears. So I tapped off extra right here. See that turquoise? I tapped off a little bit so it wasn't swimming all over the paper, making puddles. Now it's just right. I'm gonna do, oops, guess what? That's his tail. Uh-oh. I'll just pretend that flower goes over his tail a little bit, her tail. I think she's a girl. Now I'm gonna get a little more aqua and do one more here. Isn't she looking very pretty and very spring-like? Now the last flower, I could even leave white if I want, but I think I'm going to do it different colors. So let me think. I'm going to do purple. What are you going to do? Whatever color you want, I know will be pretty. This matches the elephant's purple eyes and purple eyebrow. Now, if this is a girl and we want to do like a bow or a hat or something just kind of cute and fun, we could do that if we wanted to. When you paint something from your coloring book, you can add things if you want, or you can leave it the same. A little less water is good though, so it doesn't run all over. So if I want to add, I'm not going to paint the whole elephant, and I'm not going to paint the whole background. If you want to, you may, and I've shown you how to do that with some others, but I would like instead to paint what's on it and only the bright parts. I was going to say the accents. I don't know if you know what that means. Just the parts that stand out. So I'm going to do a couple more little flowers just because I feel like it. So there's the yellow. And you remember, we always want to kind of let it dry a little bit, don't we? Because if I put colors on it, it will bleed together. Do you know what that means? Here's my card where I tested all my colors so I know what they look like. If I put yellow first, and then I add turquoise right next to it, do you see that sometimes they start to blur together? And when they blur together, and that's actually not as bad as I would expect. But if they blur together, then they can start turning into another color where they match. So I'm letting it dry a little bit, although maybe this brand, maybe I learned something new. Maybe children watercolors don't blend as quickly as my adult watercolors, my professional ones. So I'm going to try an orange right here. And I'm not touching the yellow very much. And you don't have to do this. You know that, right? This is just an idea if you want to. And also, if you want to, you could wait and do it in a break. Sometimes with art, it's fun to take a break and come back and decide something later. I do that a lot. I go, should I do it or not? Let me go do something else and then come back and then I'll decide. So you could do that too if you want. And purple, I'm going to do the same 3 colors. And I'm putting them in her hair. I guess what's left is for us to decide what her name is. So be thinking about it. I always think of Dumbo as a boy name, but she could be Dumbo-ette, or she could be Lucy, or she could be Trunky, or she could be Amy. I know somebody pretty whose name is Amy. And this elephant's very pretty too. I don't know, you be thinking about it. So there are 3 flowers, kind of like they're on her head as if they were in a little bow or something. I think I'll put a couple of little pretty leaves so they look like they're all just pretty on her head. You're looking very pretty, little elephant. All right, so there's a couple little leaves. And if you don't want to put leaves, that's okay too. Whatever you want to do, it's yours. So that is my little baby elephant today. I'm going to go back on this side and show it to you just like this. A little bit more back. I'm zooming around, having fun with my cameras. There you go. So there's my elephant today. I guess I'll leave it just like this for you to see. I think she's pretty cute. What do you think? If you liked her and had fun with her, then you can think about all the things we did and you can do them yourself with any coloring. What did we learn today? Don't put too much water in your paper. And if you do, tap some extra off. If it looks like it's making a big puddle, tap some off on your paper towel. Only take a little water on your brush if you're staying in the same color. Rinse it really good when you're switching colors, but even then you might need to tap some off. Use water as much as you need, but not too much. And I think that will make you happy to make your watercolors work better for you and be very bright. Now, if you wanted to, you could get a pencil and you could sign your name to it or her name. You could also add things. Just to be fun, I'm going to add some lashes. And if I wanted to add little lips and put lipstick on it, I could do that. If I wanted to add little paw marks, I could do that. There's lots of fun things to do. I maybe could put a little earring in. My goodness, this little elephant. So that's what I painted with you today, and I hope it was fun. I hope I can paint with you again sometime. Have a happy day today. See you later, I hope. Bye-bye.